Okay, it says that we're live. So, hello. I don't know if anyone's here yet. I don't know how to see that. But I guess we should give it a little couple of minutes before we start introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I'm trying to find how to work this. I'm really sorry to anyone watching this. I don't know how these work. Okay, so should we get started and like say who's who? Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
I mean this is my channel this on, so I would hope people know who I am. But just in case you don't, my name is Lily. I am 22. I live in England, and my cat Maggie is there. And yeah, I work in tech, and I like reading pretty much anything. And at the moment, I am the captain of Team Andy, and I've completed one book, I think, for readathon. But I am in the middle of like 5, according to Goodreads. So
Wow.
cool. Like Helen, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Helen. My channel's Helen's Bookhaven. I am the team captain of Team Sunnyside Daycare. The same, I just love to read, so this is ideal for me. Normally I can be seen running around after a 5-year-old. I work in a library, and I think I am on book 4 now for the readathon. But again, I'm in the middle of quite a few as well. So yeah, this is a good opportunity to try and keep you focused.
Okay. Hi, I'm Darian. My channel is Darian Reads, and I'm the captain of Team Al's Toy Barn. And so far, I've read 2 books for the readathon, and I'm on my 3rd. I don't know what else to say. That's basically it.
I can go. I'm Elise. My channel is The Petite Punk. I am the team captain for the Second Chance Antiques. I've been naughty and accidentally ditched my TBR, so I will be starting my group read finally. I've read like 3 books this month, but they definitely weren't on my TBR, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually.
I'm Livy, and I'm team captain for Team Bonnie. I don't have a YouTube channel, but you can find me on like Instagram, Twitter at Shells of Starlight. So, and I've read 2 books for the readathon, and I am like almost halfway through my 3rd, and then hopefully next week I can get through a good lot because I have a week off uni. So, fingers crossed.
Nice. So, shall we go through what we are reading? I am reading, this is not the cover, I just realised the dust cover's not on it, but I'm reading Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McNulty, I think. The dust cover's here. Ooh, this is the dust jacket. So it is a non-fiction, and it is his diaries from like a year of his life when he was 16. And he's autistic, and he is obsessed with nature and all things like outside and wilderness. So it's like his diary, and it's written through the different seasons, and he basically talks about what he did and like the nature he explores, and there's a lot of focus on birds because birds are kind of like his special interest. So yeah, I've read about 30 to 50 pages, something like that, and it's been good so far.
I am going to attempt to read the team book. I was just telling the girls before we come on, my Kindle has suddenly decided to give in, but no worries, I've got my phone. That's by L.D. Lipinski. Yeah, I don't know much about it. I just know it's a middle grade, and I loved the cover, and it's about magic and traveling. So that's all I need to know.
Nice.
I'm in the middle of my group book, which is Strange the Dreamer.
No one's surprised.
This for me, and I'm also tabbing it.
Oh wow,
I'm having a great time.
A lot of tabs.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I already showed mine. I'm going to read my group read, which is it's out of camera. There we go. The Stars and the Blackness Between Them. I have not started it, so I'm not really sure what it's about. I'm pretty sure it's about 2 girls that come from really different backgrounds, and then somehow they're going to fall in love, but that's all I know so far.
Nice.
I'm like 110 pages into the Children of Virtue and Vengeance, which is... It's really good so far. It's a sequel to Children of Blood and Bone, and I can't really say much about this book without spoiling book one. But basically, it's all about like bringing magic back, and there's currently like a bit of a revolution starting. So, also kind of enemies to lovers romance in it, which I love. So,
Nice. Darren, I'm curious. When you tab, what do you tab? Because I wanted to tab, but I don't know what people do.
Okay, so for example, like all the green ones. Oh God. Okay. All the green ones are for foreshadowing because like since I've already read this book, I want to like keep track of stuff that I missed the first time, and then I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. And then a lot of them are like based on my emotions. So like red is angry and like pink is cute and blue is sad. Like I just keep track of how I'm feeling. And then I like to look at it and see how the colors change.
I love that. That's so cute.
Yeah, I like it.
That's so organized, Darian. I'll tab my books sometimes, but I'll just put a bunch of different colors because I like colors. Not because they mean anything. I should try that system.
Like, what are you tapping when you're doing the different colors?
Well, I mean, like, I don't have any. I just will be like, I like that color. I'm gonna put it in my book. But I'll tab things like if there's like a quote that sticks out to me, or if there's a scene that I think is well done, I'll just put a little sticky note. But yeah, I don't have fun color schemes like Darian. I just whatever color I'm feeling in that moment.
That would probably be me. I'd start off with the color scheme and then get halfway through and be like, I've not had pink in a while.
Pretty much what I do.
I think
my memory's so bad.
Yeah. Tabbing's really fun. I read The Book Thief for like a read along ages ago. So I like tabbed bits that I thought were interesting to like talk about in the chat because I knew that otherwise I'd just forget. But also like quotes and stuff. So I could, if anyone was like, oh, does anyone have any favorite quotes? I could like look and be like, oh, yes.
I have one.
I'm gonna dip out and turn my camera off for a second because I want to get my tabs now.
I actually probably should tab because my work has started a book club and I haven't started the book yet because we do it like month to month and I want to remember the book, so I'm waiting till the end of the month to read it. But I might actually tab that one so that when we have the discussion group I can actually have useful things to contribute.
See, that's smart. I'm running a book club.
Pardon?
I'm trying to run a book club. Oh, sorry. It's all right, Helen, you go first.
What was your first book for your book club for work? I think I remember seeing it.
We're reading The Thursday Murder Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We only started it this month, so that's our first pick. And then, yeah, weirdly, it was the only non-fantasy book. Everyone else suggested fantasy books, and this one person suggested that one, and for some reason, everyone then voted for the only non-fantasy book. So, but it should be good.
It will get better like as you go through. I had really high hopes for it and got halfway and was a bit like, meh, but then it just.
Yeah, that's what someone told us. I think someone's like sister has read it, and she apparently said that you've got to get through the first like 100 pages, and then it gets better.
Yeah.
I do so many like book clubs and read-alongs. It's really I end up having like, obviously I'm doing this, so I have all my TBR, and then it's like also we're reading like Cemetery Boys, which oh my god, it's so good.
That's a good one.
Rivers of London is another one. I don't know why I didn't expect it to have fantasy in it. I clearly hadn't read the blurb. I was like 10 pages in and there was like a ghost and magic, and I was like, yes. And then I also do Lord of the Rings, so we're rereading all of those. So I don't know why I do this to myself.
It's fun. Also, Darren, this is your fault.
Oh my god.
Stickies.
Nice.
Just seen on the chat that Kathleen said that she loves the idea of the readathon, but she found out about it too late. Join in now, Kathleen. You really can.
Yeah, no, like there's teams and there's like suggestions, but if you do just want to like pick a team randomly and read a few books, no one's going to come and be like, you must finish all the books. Yeah. Because I'm not going to finish my team's books.
Oh yeah, like, I'm already not going to make it through.
So just like join in however you want to. It's not a strict readathon. Yeah. I don't think I've ever finished a TBR for a readathon.
Oh, neither. Never finished a TBR, period. Never happened.
I think I did a readathon where you only had to read 3 books, so I managed to finish that, which was nice. But then I was like, but I only had to read 3 books for this. Like, I feel like I should have done more.
I did one where it was only 4 books. It was like Make Your Myth Taker readathon. It was like last summer. And I was like, oh yeah, only 4 books. I can do this. And I read like 8 books that month, and only 2 of them were on my TBR, and none of them could count for any of the prompts. Like I just went completely like, nah, it's fine. So that was a bit of a fail for me. But in this readathon, I'm literally reading books from my summer TBR.
I love that for you.
Oh yeah, I got given this book in like June. I mean,
Lily, how many books are for Team Andy? I feel like you have a lot.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll have a few on my team because I can read loads. No, I can't. I think there's like 7 main ones and then 3 steals or something. Oh, maybe there's 8. I think it's like 11 total. So
Yeah,
it was ambitious, and I planned this readathon in the month that I read 11 books, so I was feeling very confident about my reading ability, which is why I put so many on my team.
I haven't found any steals because I know I won't get to them. I was like, let's just leave it, and maybe if I like decide to just ditch my TBR, I'll try one out. But yeah,
I've found something for every single character.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Just so that I could.
I mean, you did make it, so fair enough.
Yeah.
I haven't
someone
even
should
read
be like,
mine
oh,
yet. I've already
accent.
started stealing.
Pardon?
I've already started stealing. I saw others that I fancy
Oh.
on my own. So like, yeah, so that one.
I really want to steal some of them because, like, I want to steal Forky. Forky is life. I want Forky.
Yes,
But at the same
That was
time,
such a good
I want to steal Forky when I haven't even collected my own characters yet.
my only problem is the prompt is to read trash, and I feel like whatever I choose, I mean, I'm going to go for like guilty pleasure reading, which is romance. I don't know why I count it as guilty pleasure, but you know, I'm going to sit and read that tomorrow because it's Valentine's Day and I'm alone. I have it here in case I finish. It's Would Like to Meet. That's what I'm going to. Oh, I can't see. There you go.
Oh, that's a cute cover.
So.
I hope you like that if you do read it, because I was looking at it, thought it looked really cute.
Yeah, I want to read that one.
I think if I get to Forky, then I was going to pick The Selection, because I know it's really popular, but whenever I read the premise, I'm like, this sounds really trashy.
It is.
Oh yeah, I think I read Shatter Me for one book, and like I loved it, but it was also like the most typical YA book.
It so is.
But it's like so good to read. Yeah.
I actually won the entire Shatter Me series in a giveaway that I forgot I entered. I read the first one and I hated it so much. I feel like I should read the rest because I won them from the publisher. But I'm like,
I mean, I know what happens. Like, I know who the main character ends up with because the series has been around for ages. But also, you always know the first love interest never works out in a YA series.
literally.
Also, someone in the comments just said The Selection is very trashy. So, Lily, you've been validated.
Yeah. Well, I was actually like filming my TBR. I don't know who's watched it, but like I was filming it and I was like, I don't actually know if I've checked if any of these books fit for the prompts I've given them for. Like Kingdom of Souls.
Like,
I'm reading Kingdom of Souls and I still don't know if it's historical because it's set in like West Africa. So I don't know if it's just like a different culture I've never really read about or if it is actually historical.
I mean, I read Ever Alice, which is like an Alice in Wonderland retelling. So it's mainly set in Wonderland, but the bits that are in real life are set in the past. So I was like, this counts.
Well, I've just finished reading Tangle of Spells and picked this for Set by the Sea. But it only mentions the sea 3 times, but I thought, no, I
read a Pinch of Magic recently, so I need to get to the other books.
Oh, it's awesome.
Ellie Dunn said she's reading Miseducation of Cameron Post and had it on their TBR since 2018. So respect. I DNF'd Cameron Post, but I know a lot of people love that book. But also I like that you called it 2018 has been on your TBR for a long time because I have books that have been on my TBR for 10 years.
It's a slow book, but if you can keep up with the pace, it's good. But it is really slow.
Yeah, I think I DNF'd it like halfway through and I was like, I just can't anymore. But I didn't think it was bad. It just wasn't my kind of book.
No, yeah, it's not bad at all. It just
I DNF'd a book
reading
for the readathon. I got like halfway in and it was like, I can't. I'm just not into the book. I was like, try because I won it in a giveaway as well. So I was like, oh, I feel like I should read this because I won it. I don't have to buy it. But I was like halfway in. I was like, this book is just so crazy and so like not interesting to me. So, yeah.
I always feel bad when people give me books as a gift, and I'm like totally not interested. Like one of my friends in secondary school gave me this book that was like the novelization of a World War II TV series. And it was like a really like actiony battle like World War II book. And I was like, what about me? Like we've been friends for a while. We'd had Harry Potter marathons, like all of this kind of stuff. And I was like, yes, World War II book.
I mean, sometimes, like, I mean, obviously I love my fantasy, but then I like earlier I was reading all about like the Peloponnesian War in Athens and Sparta for my course. It's just like, so I also have like books about, was it the Napoleonic Wars at home from like stuff I had to do for school, and then here I am reading a like fantasy book about magic. It's like,
yeah. What's like the weirdest book someone's given you as a gift that you were a bit like?
People don't really give me books. They give me book vouchers, which is great because my dad did give me a book that I'd already read. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, great, thanks. But so I don't know.
No, I don't think I've had any weird, but I think that's the thing. People are frightened when they know you love books so much. They're frightened to do something that you've already read. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think my dad buying me a book I'd already bought myself has just cemented that fact now.
I still have a lot of people that want to buy me books. Like I try to make sure they get the wish list now, but I'll still get random people that are buying them for me. And like my husband was like, "Oh, you've been having a rough time at the moment, so I bought you this book that I saw in Tesco," and this was like the start of the pandemic, and so she like left it on the doorstep because it was one of our neighbours, and I went and picked it up, and it was American Dirt, which had literally just had all of its controversies on Twitter, and I was like, dang. And I still have it because she keeps asking me like, is it good, have you liked it? And I'm like, whether I can read this.
Oh no. Yeah, I usually give pretty like specific instructions on what books I want and which covers I want. So
yeah, I might just sign up my book wish list for birthdays and Christmas now and be like, if you want to get me a book, please make sure it's from this list, because this is the book that I want. Oh, my wish list is so long though. Because I watch all these book videos, like, oh my god, and then every time I watch one, I'm like, oh, this book is great, let's add it to my wish list. And then
Yeah, I used to be fine getting like any kind of books. Like I'd be the person who'd walk in the bookstore and get any book that looked interesting. But now since BookTube, there's such specific books that I'm interested in because you hear everyone talk about them. Like I used to be able to walk into a library and be like, yeah, that looks interesting. But now I'll be like submitting a bunch of requests for my library to buy specific books, all because of BookTube.
I think my like reading's got better since BookTube though, because I used to be the same. I'd be like, that cover's pretty.
Yep.
Well, that's what I used to do before I like got into like, you know, Bookstagram and everything. I'd be like, oh, this cover's cool. I think that's how I got into The Familiars by Stacey Halls. I was in Waterstones here in Edinburgh, and I was like, oh, this cover looks great. Some like lady came up to me and was like, oh, I've read that book, it's great, you'll love it. And I was like, thanks. But, I ended up buying it like with a book voucher or something for Christmas. And then I really liked the book. I was like, well, clearly the cover is great, but also yeah.
The last time I bought books just on Coverlust, I hated both of them. So I'm like trying not to do it anymore. There were like 2 books I found in like my Waterstones up in York when I was at uni had this beautiful covers section, and I would always go,
I love that section.
and then I'd be like, no, you can't just buy on covers. And then one day I was like, I used to buy books when I was sad, so I was like really sad, and I was in there, I was like, I want the beautiful cover books, and I bought them and I read them, and I was like, what did I do to myself?
Yeah, I pre-ordered a book today. I meant to be on a book buying ban, but I was like, you get it signed. Also, it's Ship Shadows book 2. If any of you guys have like, I love that book so much. I like won it in a giveaway. It's so great. It's full of cake and anyway, I'm not going to talk about it because I can go on for like hours. But I was like, oh, it's like Valentine's weekend. Why don't you treat yourself to something? So I bought myself a book.
See, having a boyfriend is great because I just sent him links to the books I wanted that were signed, and he bought them for Valentine's Day.
Actually, this book was bought for me by my ex-boyfriend, so yeah. Cheers.
My boyfriend is actually in the chat right now, and he said he got given a book on the history of engineering of trains, despite never having
That's so
Did
funny.
you buy it, Lily?
Pardon?
Did you buy it for him?
No, I think that's.
Oh my God, imagine.
I haven't bought him books, I don't think. I don't know, he'll correct me in the comments in a minute if I have. But I give him my books and I'll be like, read these. Oh no, I have bought him books. I bought him books for his birthday.
Oh,
But yeah.
I don't think I got anywhere, but I got given Little Women like 10 years ago and I still haven't read it. It's just sitting at home. It was sent by my uncle is American. So I have like relatives by marriage in America and they sent like me and my brother a book. He loved the book he got. I just haven't sat down and read Little Women yet. But I feel like I need to.
Yeah, you all reminded me of my weirdest book. It was from my ex-boyfriend, and it was for Christmas. And I guess he didn't know what kind of books I liked, so he just took a book off of his shelf. But he didn't read books, so it was a book like from his childhood. I turned it over, and it said for ages 9 to 12 on it, and he gave it to me when I was like 18 or 17 or something. And then I had it for like a month, and then he felt weird giving me his childhood book, so he took it back. And that was my Christmas gift. I didn't get a different Christmas gift
from my ex-boyfriend as well, because he was like, he gave them to me, then we broke up, and he was like, well, I was going to get rid of them anyway, so just keep them. So now I just have them on my bookshelf.
Oh my God.
I mean, fair enough. Equally, this book. Yeah, because I remember I read Children of Blood and Bone and told him about it, and he was like, oh, cool. And then he like sent me the second one. So, yeah.
I was accidentally dating someone once. And I say accidentally because he thought we were dating. I did not. I thought we were just hanging out as friends. But he found out that I really liked books. And so every time we met up, he'd come and like bring one of his books. But he was into like really hard sci-fi and like Russian sci-fi as well. It was very strange.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, it'd be like translated Russian sci-fi, and it was just so weird. And he'd give them to me, and like a couple of times I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, like I can't read it this week because of X, Y, Z." And I started running out of excuses. I had to be like, "Oh, sorry, my dad's already got that one, so I'll read it." Like, every single time.
Oh, really? That's actually really funny.
Oh, it's so awkward.
Oh, I also saw in the chat someone said they don't read Jane Austen. I'm a massive Pride and Prejudice fan, so no, I'm joking. It's fine. Read whatever you like, but read Pride and Prejudice. I have my copy that we studied for GCSE, and it's like full of tabs on all the important chapters and like all my annotations, and it makes me so happy.
I missed out on reading that one for some reason. Never read it in school.
Neither.
I haven't read any Jane Austen.
Well, we had to read like a classic book for GCSEs or something. I don't know. But we got, because usually they did Mice and Men, but then when it was Mice and GCSEs, they got rid of American literature for some reason.
Yeah, the government put in that you had to read all English and like British literature, didn't you? Because I did Mice and Men.
And I remember I read it over summer and I was like, oh, this book is going to be so bad. Because we read Jane Eyre the year before and I did not like it. I mean, the story is great and I will happily watch the movie, but just reading it was weird. But I was like, oh, Pride and Prejudice, what is this trash? And then I read it and was like, oh my God, this book is incredible.
I dropped English A-level because we had to do classics and I didn't want to. Like, it all depended which books you studied based on which teacher you got.
Yeah, that happened.
I got a teacher who loved classics. And so she wanted us to read Wuthering Heights and Mrs. Dalloway. And you had to read them over summer before you started. And over summer, I tried to read Wuthering Heights. I was like, I can't do this. I need to drop this subject. So I switched to psychology and was like,
I think
I hate that book.
And everyone but one class did Romeo and Juliet because the teacher chose to not do Romeo and Juliet. And we were like, but why? And then it was weird because we were all talking about it in the not the common room, the form room. And then like 3 people be like, oh, actually, we're reading Merchant of Venice. And be like, well, whatever. But I now hate Romeo and Juliet as a play because I just had to study it. And they're so stupid. It sounds really mean. And I respect Shakespeare and his like skill at writing. But just like having studied it, I can't.
Yeah, I think Grapes of Wrath and Wuthering Heights were the worst classics I had to read for school. Could not stand them at all. And The Scarlet Letter.
Of Wuthering Heights, and anyone that had to read that whole book.
God. And we were required to annotate Wuthering Heights, so you had to like actually read it and like highlight every page. You had to write at least 2 things on every page. It's terrible. Would not recommend.
My school did it was you would be assigned like chapters to read overnight, and then like the next day in
Yeah.
English you'd read the next couple of chapters, and they'd always say like the most important chapters for class, and then you'd have to annotate it with the teacher, and the teacher would like tell you what to annotate.
Oh, yeah, we got
Because,
given like a photocopy of our teacher's book, and she was like, just copy down my annotations for Pride and Prejudice. We then had to add our own as well, but like,
Yeah.
but also it was actually great because we had a teacher who was like, we read like a certain amount of chapters, then we watched the BBC adaptation. So it was quite nice.
Yeah.
And also someone else watched the Keira Knightley version, and because they like hated it, I was like, oh, I'm never going to watch it. And then it came on Netflix. I watched it and was like, how have I not seen this movie before? So also they filmed part of it like near where I live back home. So I was like, oh my God, I've been there. I've like sat in that seat.
Oh my god, that's cool. I love that movie.
okay, so considering this is reading sprints, should as much as I love chatting,
Yeah, we better go with it.
so should we go for like 30 minutes and then we can catch up at the end?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Right, so I'll put into the chat when we're going to come back rather than putting a timer up, and we will see you back here in 30 minutes. Hello.
Hello. I actually just got to the end of a chapter, so I timed that nicely.
Right.
Oh, we're already
Mine's quite
done?
easy because it's like diary entries, so I can just like stop whenever I need to, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, the chapters are quite short. I have annoyingly stopped at a really dramatic point though. Like, but it's fine.
How much did everyone read? I got about 20 pages done, I think, because
I got
non-fiction is
70
slow for me.
pages.
Same.
Yeah.
I got 24.
I was trying to do math in my head, but
I mean, it's fast paced. Like, it's all like kind of building up towards the middle. You know, when there's like the middle conflict, and then they like have to deal with that, and then there's like the final one. So it's literally just at the middle conflict now. I'm like, I want to know what's going to happen. Also, the kind of enemies to lovers just like got reunited, and it's going to be so good.
My book's okay so far because I'm just starting it, and I hate starting books. I don't know if anyone feels that way. Like, it's so hard to get into books. Once I get like 50 pages in, it's all good, but just stuck at the beginning right now.
Yeah, I either find that I'm like immediately sucked in, or it takes like 50 to 100 pages for me to get into a book.
Yeah, and it's like multiple point of views, and I hate when you don't know what's going on at the beginning of a book. Yeah. I guess that makes sense because it's the beginning, but stresses me out.
Books also multiple POVs, but because it's a sequel, I guess it's easier because I've already like had the POVs of all the characters. Although sometimes I'm like, wait, whose POV is this again?
Have any of you read Gideon the Ninth?
No.
No, but I own it.
If you don't like not knowing what's going on, don't read it. I've read it and I still don't know what happened. And like I buddy read it with my friend Georgia, and we're now buddy reading Harry the Ninth, which is the sequel, and we still don't know what's going on. And like we keep messaging each other being like, have you figured out what's going on yet? Do you know what anything? There's no world building. It's one of those books where you just kind of have to like go along for the ride.
See, sometimes I like that because it's quite nice if you get like enough little info dumps about the book to like understand. But other times you're just like, yeah.
There's nothing. Casey has said she's read it twice and still have no idea what happened. It's literally like you just don't know what happens in it. You just go with it and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, keep going. Sorry. No, I was just gonna say like unpopular opinion, but I don't usually read fantasy. That's because like when I don't understand the world building, like it's not happening. I'm not gonna understand any of it.
Fair enough. I've probably read enough fantasy to just kind of like roll with it now. I'm like, okay, fine. There's magic, monsters, sure. Yeah. Also, not knowing books, like, what was it? I read the Devil in Dark Water, which is like a mystery, and I got to the end, and I was there for 5 minutes afterwards. Like, I'm sorry, what just happened? Because it's like you get all the reveals at the end, and it was really well written. It like all came together so well. But I was just like, what the hell? Because throughout the whole book, you're like, is the devil real? Is like the devil killing all these people? And then at the end, it's like, no. I saw someone ask what everyone's reading again. So I throw in the channel.
I'm reading the camera's reversed. Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McNulty, which is a non-fiction about his life. It's his diaries, funnily enough, from when he was 16 years old. And yeah, it's about him and his life in Ireland as an autistic teenager.
Lily, do you have an animal behind you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. I was wondering what that was.
No, that's her cat tree. Yeah, like it seems really bizarre, but I live in like the tiniest flat, and it's literally the only place her cat tree fits. So when I'm on work calls, I have to blur my background because she like zooms around in the background. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Me and my friend were thinking of getting a cat. We're not allowed cats here, but because we're thinking of staying over summer, and one of our flatmates she lives in Glasgow, so it's not like very far. But we're like, maybe we should just get a cat. Like, why not?
If you're planning on renting, don't. In the UK, like renting with pets is so hard.
Also,
like, that's why I'm in a tiny, expensive flat.
Like after we've got this cat, we can't just like give it back. But we might get like a turtle or like a fish or something that's easier. Just like a pet, because we're both a bit
I had some uni friends that had a hamster.
Yeah, hamster would be good. Except they're nocturnal, so I feel like we have to have it in the kitchen. Also, we have mice sometimes, so that was traumatizing. We had a mouse for like a month, and I like didn't sleep properly for like 2 weeks.
No.
So how's everyone else's book going? How are you feeling about them?
Mine
I mean, we
are
don't have
good.
Darren's feeling about
I'm having a great time. I
I
just
can
read a
only say
small part.
because I'm on the Kindle, it doesn't tell you what page. I've got a really old one as well. It doesn't tell me what page, so I just know I'm 10%. But yeah, it's okay so far. And I've just seen my husband's book that my 5-year-old was taking part in the sprints with her bedtime stories.
Oh.
That's so
She said Beast Feast, and she joined in the sprint, so that's nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so
That's so
cute.
sweet.
Well, that's going to be a record, right? 5 years old taking part in reading sprints. I think that's really
That's impressive. My
Raising them right.
younger siblings aren't as much into reading, and it makes me so sad. Because my little sister's 10, and when I was 10, I was like reading. I think I read The Hobbit at like 10 years old. My grandma was like, "Here, have this fantasy book." I was like, "Okay, sure." But I like love reading. I bought Dottie Percy Jackson, that's my little sister, and she's got halfway through and then stopped. And honestly, I felt betrayed because Percy Jackson. I mean, I do ancient history now, so I'm that Percy Jackson fan that like basically made it her whole life. It's quite funny though, because in one of my lectures, my tutor's always like, "Oh, so any Percy Jackson fans among you will know the 12 Olympians." I'm just like, please stop calling me out.
That's funny.
No, I have little cousins, so like I'm the baby on one side of my family of all the cousins, and then I'm like the second oldest on the other side. So on the side where I'm the second oldest, I have like these 4 little cousins that are like 11 and under. And one of them, like one of the middle ones, she's recently got into reading loads. So whenever I get like a middle grade I love, I'm like posting them up to her, being like, read this, read this. And like anything that's like vaguely diverse, I'm like, read this. You need diversity, and your libraries won't have it.
You know, I'm the oldest of because I only have 2 first cousins, and then obviously my siblings, and I'm the oldest. But my cousins love Percy Jackson and all that stuff, so I'm basically just like, it's great. I remember when I went to Greece on a school trip, my aunt and uncle like, send us pictures so we can show your cousins. So I like sent them all the like temples and stuff I went to go see.
I feel like there's loads of better middle grades out now though than when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I've recently read Frost Heart 1 and 2, and they are amazing.
Frost Heart is the team book for Team Bonnie, and I'm reading it next week. I'm very excited.
Like we were talking about Michelle Harrison before, there's so much available compared to when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I suppose you just got to keep trying them on different ones, and they'll find something that they like.
I feel quite lucky that I was like a teenager when the big YA boom happened. So like Twilight was like the big boom in YA basically. And like I didn't like Twilight as a teenager, but I was really appreciative of the fact that like when I got to the age where I needed YA, there was suddenly like way more YA.
Yeah.
Because like
I went through the Twilight phase.
Middle grade age category, the choices of books were not great. So I was very lucky.
Yeah, Michelle Harrison wrote the 13 Treasures, 13 Curses trilogy, didn't she? Mm-hmm. I got to meet her at school, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they like had my library was really good. I was actually like best friends with my librarian, which is
I
won an award for taking out the most books in my class. So we had like an author event with Michelle Harrison, and she came in, and I had all 3 of her books, but for some reason I lost the 3rd one before this point. But she signed the first 2 books, one to me and one to my brother, and it was like really cool. And like it was just, she's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jealous.
It still haunts me that I only have the first 2 books of this trilogy though. And I know if I get the 3rd one, it won't be signed, so it won't like, it's just such a
Yeah, that's like,
I read it on holiday, so I probably left it in some like hotel somewhere.
Oh no. My school had Terry come in. She's the author of like the Slated trilogy. She writes like dystopians, but not your like cliche dystopians. They're a little bit different. But the reason they had her in is because she literally lives in the town like 20 minutes away. But because they were having her come in, they made all of like year 7 and year 8 read one of her books. So then they all brought them in to like get them signed. But they were like, oh, so like when she comes in, if you have her books, you can come and get them signed at break time. But at break time, all of the year 7s and 8s were still getting their books signed. So I didn't get to have mine signed before classes started again. That was really sad.
We had Jacqueline Wilson because again she literally like I've seen her on the train just hanging out when I'm at home. She lives really close. So she came in when I was in junior school, and it was only whatever year it was, year 7. We were all told to bring a book and that she would sign it for us. So I have like, again, it's somewhere on like, we have so many bookshelves because me and my brother have so many books when we were little, but that's somewhere around. Yeah, and they still do it because my little sister's at the same junior school that I went to. And who did they have? Oh my God, I can't remember. And it's really annoying me, but she's like had the same thing. So it's really cool.
My little girl got to meet Nick Sharratt and do some illustrations with him, and I was really jealous because I was
That's
away
really cool.
Thursday that weekend. So I said to her, "Nan, you're going to have to take her." But I was, you know, when you're that close to saying, "You don't really want me to come away for your birthday, do you?"
I'm really jealous because my dad, when he was at school, he met Roald Dahl.
Oh wow.
That's really cool.
I know like Roald Dahl is hella problematic. I'm not trying to like say he's great, but as like a British person, he's kind of like
big deal. Yeah,
especially like my dad's generation. So I'm still like forever jealous that happened because like Roald Dahl grew up around and like lived where I lived as a child.
So cool.
So like there's 3 different museums in like all the neighboring towns and everything. All the Roald Dahl museums. And we have like a Roald Dahl festival, and I'm still like.
Yeah, we have lots of Roald Dahl books. They're great for kids. Like my little brother, how old is he? 8. Oh my God, I always forgot how old he was. And they read Fantastic Mr. Fox for that. Like they had like their live calls, and their teacher would like read them a chapter from Fantastic Mr. Fox every day. It was so cute.
My boyfriend's flexing because he met Julia Donaldson, who's the author of the Gruffalo, when he lived in America.
Again, I keep like my little brother listens to the Gruffalo to fall asleep. He like plays it on his little CD player. So when you take him to bed, which obviously Harry Potter's problematic, but he like it's nice to like read to him. So we read like 2 pages of Harry Potter. So it takes him like months to get through a book. It's like the most painful thing because I'm like, I want to keep reading to you. And then he listens to like an audiobook to fall asleep. I think he's doing Horrid Henry at the moment, which is really strange. But it's so sweet.
Mel says she's reading The Lies of Locke Lamora in the chat, which I'm very jealous because when I was at uni, all of my friends were telling me to read that and that they loved it. And so one of them gave me her copy, and I still haven't read it yet because I just haven't, and it's one of those books where you need to be in the exact right mood. Yeah. So I haven't read it yet, but I really, really want to soon. I think I'm going to try and read it next month.
Oh, exciting. I look forward to watching your wrap-up.
This month's wrap-up is mad.
I can't do wrap-ups because I've never I have like 5 reviews I need to do from like January still on my blog. It's like so chaotic.
That's what I don't miss about being a blogger. So as a blogger, I had to do so many more reviews, whereas as a booktuber, I can like do more of just like whatever I want.
Yeah.
I felt so obligated to review as a blogger, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. My friend, yesterday, my friend was like, "Are you thinking you should get a YouTube channel?" I was like, "Oh, let's not start on that now because I just sorted out my blog."
Yeah. How long have you guys been on BookTube?
5 months.
I think
my wrap-ups are useless because I forget everything by the end of the month. So I just go, oh yeah, it was about this somebody and this happened, but I can't really remember. It's terrible. It's really bad. Don't know why anybody watches them.
You should try doing Jazz from I can't remember what her channel name is, but I'll tell you later. But she does when she finishes the book, she films a clip of herself like wrapping that book up, and then at the end of the month she edits it all together.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to start doing. Or like you said before, tabbing these because I love amazing quotes and then get to the end and I can't remember any of them. So
I have a reading journal in which I write like not a mini, well, it's basically a review I end up putting on my blog, but it's like a condensed version of a review each time I finish a book. Because that way then, one when I go back to review it eventually. I can look at what I thought and be like, oh yes, this is what I really liked.
Darren, when did you start? I think we started around the same time. Book
I
2.
started last May.
Okay, so did I. If you're not subscribed to Darien, she's almost at 1,000 subs. You should subscribe.
Go subscribe because I watched your videos like just before I started, so like your earliest videos and like
Oh boy.
your energy. I was like, yeah, I want to do BookTube. Like you were one of the earliest ones I watched.
Oh,
So.
Yeah, no,
love it,
literally
guys.
me too. I didn't know we started at the same time, and I was watching your videos, and like I followed you, and then a while later you followed me back, and I was like, oh my gosh, Darian followed me.
I'm so excited because I started my Bookstagram like first. So obviously I like follow some big people, and I always get really excited when people follow me back, which I realize is like something small, but it's when like bigger or like authors follow you back, it's always just like, oh, thank you for acknowledging.
Yeah. When Elise followed me back, I got really excited. Because I've been like interacting subtly, being like, please, I want to be friends.
That's what I did to Darian when we were starting off. I was like, Darian's so cool.
Oh,
Does she notice me? Is she gonna notice me?
I did. That's so sweet.
Yeah, you're all wonderful.
Yeah, I feel really lucky. I feel like I've made way more friends since lockdown and like COVID because I feel like people have been a lot more open to like making friendships online since COVID, which is so nice.
I got my blog like during lockdown in May, and then I joined the Right Read gang, whatever it's called, and like all of a sudden I had like so many more new people that like, you know, to like chat to, and obviously I met like Lily, and now I know you guys, and yeah, it's like so nice to just like have other people from like all around the world as well to like interact with.
Yeah, it's really nice. Do we want to get started with another story?
Oh yeah, we're doing sprints. Yeah.
So let's go for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes was a good length. I got like a good amount read.
Sounds good.
Nice. Cool. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so it has been half an hour. I think I read like 20 to 25 pages again. How did everyone else do?
I read like 100 pages.
What?
It's gotten
I read like 40.
really intense, and the chapters are getting really short. So I just keep. Oh my god!
Did you say 100 pages?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm jealous. I want that skill.
So Rachel, I don't know if you're still.
Hi, Rachel.
I don't know if Rachel's still watching, but very rude of you to mention Ari and Dante when we're in the middle of a sprint and I have to be quiet because if you haven't heard yet, Aristotle and Dante is having a sequel and it's been in the works for like 12 years and I'm so excited. That's like my favorite book ever. I have heard the news.
Also, Rachel came in to remind everyone to go sub to Darian because she needs to hit her next milestone. So go sub.
Thanks, Rachel.
Sorry, my book is just getting really intense. I've got like 100 pages left.
We just need one more sprint and you're finished.
Yeah.
I've never read that quickly before. It's just like, this is what happened with the first one as well. I like read the beginning slowly and then I got to like the action side happening and it was like, I was just gone.
I still need to read that one. I read Children of Blood and Bone when it like first came out.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. And then when the second one came out, I was like, right, I'm gonna go get it and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna read it immediately, and it's still on my TBR. So.
It's really good. It does like a nice little quick recap in like the first chapter. So you kind of like don't really have to remember what happened in book one.
That's helpful actually, because I've been stressing because like it's been so long now that I don't even remember vaguely what happened in book one. So
I mean, they kind of like keep referencing back to book one, so it's fine. You can do it. But so good. I still have my enemies to lovers couple need to get together because it's like the most frustrating thing ever. Because it's a classic, like they're determined to kill each other, but they like locked eyes across battlefields, and we're like, oh my gosh. Oh.
Controversially, I'm not a fan of enemies to lovers. I'll read it, but I'm a friends to lovers kind of person. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite.
I do.
I just love a good romance, so like anything.
Not picky.
Yeah,
but like. Yeah, usually enemies to lovers can annoy me, but like this one is good because they've gone from like enemies to kind of like friends to sort of lovers back to oh my god, it's just like a whole thing. Also, is there going to be another book to this series? Because I feel like there's going to be a lot more questions left.
Yeah, there's like it's supposed to be a really long series, isn't it? It's like 7 books or something.
It goes because I need to know. Like, because I was like, is this it? Like, it can't just end.
That's so funny you're reading that because I literally just uploaded a video, I think a couple days ago or maybe a week ago, where I said, I don't think I'm reading Children of Blood and Bone anymore. I'm taking it off my TBR.
Fair enough.
But maybe I have to put it back on because it sounds like it's good.
I remember when I went to upload my review on Goodreads for the first one, there were quite a few people that like hated it. And I was like, but I really enjoyed it.
I think the problem was when it first came out, it was like really, really hyped. It was one of those ones that was the first ones I saw that was super duper hyped. So I think a lot of people had like too high expectations for it in some ways.
Yeah, I think I picked it up because, well, mainly because I wanted to read more, like to diversify my shelves a bit, because obviously like everything was going on. I was like, oh my god, all my books are like written by like non-diverse people. So I picked it up, and Pride, which is an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. But it's incredible anyways. But so I picked it up and was like, okay, this one seems to be quite hyped by like people because it's fantasy, lots of cool magic. Oh, it's so good. I'm gonna finish it after this. If I don't finish here, we can keep sprinting.
Rachel, I'm still reading this to answer your question.
Oh yeah, mine is for the close siblings prompt, which is I think peas in a pod. Yeah,
that's so cute. That prompt.
Yeah.
I'm reading my team book, which is Diary of a Young Naturalist. So it's counting for cinnamon roll main character, I think, because I can use it for anyone that I want. And also, Molly, if you mean putting links to everyone's channels in the description, I'm doing that right now because I'm a useless host and forgot to do that. I'm really sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm
Throw
reading
back
the
to when I missed half the hosts on the announcement video.
Yeah, I'm reading my team book as well, The Strange World Travel Agency. I think I'm reading that for weeks now because I've had it on my Kindle for ages, so it's a forgotten book for me.
And then I'm also reading my group read. Oh, I keep cutting it off with the camera. It's The Stars and the Blackness Between Them. I think I did it for the read an underrated book prompt, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm using my team book for the book with a purple cover prompt because that was the book that I DNF'd. And I was like, I don't have time to find another book with a purple cover. Actually, yeah, and you can't double up books because I have a book that I'm using for another prompt that also has a purple cover, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know what prompt I'm using my group book for. I'm just gonna wait till the end of the month and see what I haven't done yet. And
See what you've got left and then be like, this is what I used it for.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I planned it this whole time.
Sorry, I'm like frantically clicking around in the background. What are you thinking of The Stars and the Blackness Between Them, Elise?
It's a little confusing right now because it's two different point of views and they're really different point of views. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I can't really tell what the sorry, my mom's doing dishes in the background if you hear that. I can't really tell what the time period is or like what the location is, so I'm a little confused. But otherwise it started getting really good. I read like 40 pages in our last sprint and it's gotten very dramatic, which I'm interested in.
Ooh, yeah, time periods are always difficult. I think I was reading a book. Oh no, I can't remember which one it was now. This is bad. But I was reading a book and I was like, I don't know which time period it's in. For some reason I imagined it in like the Victorian era and it was set in like the 1920s. And I don't know why my brain immediately was like, oh, what book was it? This is gonna really annoy me now.
This is me with Kingdom of Souls. Like I'm literally reading it thinking like, I think this is a fantasy world that's meant to be historical because no one's mentioned technology, but I'm just not sure. But I'm going with
a book I read as like part of a book club that we have. Oh my god, this is gonna what's it? No, I'll figure it out eventually. But I remember I like had to look it up. And equally, I always forget that Sherlock Holmes is set further in the past than it is, like the book.
I'm sorry, that was really cute, Elise.
My mom just joined our live show for a second.
Oh my god, I love that.
I love it when people like duck to go walk out, but they're still in the shot.
She was grabbing my dog's coat because she has to go outside.
Oh, that's so cute.
Mom, you gotta comment that someone says you're adorable.
Oh,
That's so cute.
Someone said that they've not read a thing. Don't worry about it. I'm the host and I've only read one book so far and it's the 13th. So
Yeah, I haven't read anything that fits the prompt, so
It's fine.
I mean, I used The Hobbit as my the prompt for the fantasy book because I was reading it already. And I was like, well, if I'm going to have to read it for a read along, I might as well shove it in. Yeah, I remember I think one of the books, I was like, oh, I'll try and read like The Starless Sea. And I was like, no, that book is way too long for me to try into this read along.
it wasn't until I held my TBR up for my video I was like, oh no, this I've made bad choices here.
Yeah, I got some book posts today for a book that I helped do a cover reveal for. And for some reason, I thought the book was really short. Turns out it's like 640 pages.
Oh my god.
I like came and I was like, oh, this is a big package. I wondered, like, I knew it was a book because the only post I get is books or like food from my granny. She sent me homemade brownies for Valentine's Day.
Oh, so cute.
But I like picked it up and it's so thick. Yeah.
You know how there's like mood readers? People say they're mood readers. I'm like a mood reader with format, like with physical books or ebooks or audiobooks. And my whole TBR I planned with physical books. And like right now I'm only listening to audiobooks, so struggling.
I mean, I say I'm a mood reader, but then I plan what books I read each month, so I'm not. But I don't want to commit to writing down a TBR because I know that if I do, I'll end up not doing it. Although, who knows?
I haven't completed.
Molly, don't worry. Like, you can be here for fun. I'm not gonna get mad at you. Like, if you want, like, my boyfriend is actually in the other room, and he said he's watching it while we chat, and then he mutes us while we read and watches his D&D YouTube channel. So,
fair enough.
like, yeah, I think someone else earlier said they were doing homework in the sprints. So, like, whatever, we don't care. We're just here to have fun. So.
Yeah. Also, this is my first ever reading sprints. I've never done them before, and it's really I don't know why. Like, I need to participate in more because I'm actually getting a lot of reading done.
I always find though that like they get announced either because they're often at weekends, and like I only see my boyfriend at weekends. So I'm like, well, I feel a bit guilty telling him like, my boyfriend's getting mad at me for calling him out in the chat. It's what I do, Tom. Get over it. But like, I feel bad when I'm like, oh yeah, let's do some reading sprints, but he's here. But he's been here for like 10 days now, so I don't feel bad today.
Fair enough. I see quite a lot of people do them on like Saturday or Sunday mornings as well, which might be quite nice. Although the only thing is I like to say I wake up early, but then I wake up at like 7 and go back to sleep for 3 hours. So
Yeah, sometimes it's reading sprints I really want to participate in because like I like the booktubers that are running them, and then I'll look, and based on time zones, it'll be at like 4 a.m. for me.
Yeah. Like I'm sleeping.
Like I had the dedication to get up at 5 a.m. for a K-pop concert, but I do not have the dedication to get up at 5 a.m. to read. So
I know.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone UK time zone wants to drop out because it's nearly like 10 p.m. here. I don't know if that's anyone's getting tired, but we can do another reading sprint if anyone's up for that. Or if
I
you guys
stay up to like 1 a.m. So
I do at the weekends, and then I regret it on Monday when I have to start work at 8:30, and I'm like, oh.
Well, what happens is I obviously hang out with like my flatmates in the evening, and we'll end up talking till like 2 a.m. and then we're like, oh shit, we need to go sleep.
Cool. Should we go for another half an hour and then see how we feel?
Should we see? Let's see if I can finish my book.
Yeah.
I'll be so annoyed, honestly.
Oh my God, I
read
actually
like 40
have, like,
pages.
110 pages left or something. We'll see.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll see you guys back here in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, that is the sprint over. I am almost halfway through my book now, so I'm really happy about that, even though I'm still I only read like 15 pages because my cat decided to be a chaotic goblin child once again and was like, she kept getting onto the desk. If anyone looked onto the
I
street,
saw.
Yeah, I love that you call her a chaotic goblin child. It's the best.
goblin.
You're gonna be angry. I finished my book.
Oh my gosh.
Yay.
How was it?
Oh my god. I finished it like a couple minutes ago and my heart is like going. It's like, oh my god. I need the next book.
Oh my god.
I am very jealous. I spent half of that just trying to chase the cat off and then
I
dumping
mean,
her.
I don't have any distractions. It's literally just me sitting here like.
How did everyone else
It's very
do?
intense. I actually almost cried. It was like,
Oh.
sorry.
I can't remember where I started, but this entire live stream I've read 110 pages.
My God.
I'm pretty impressed.
I didn't read as much that time because I kept getting distracted by my phone, but
I did allow myself to look at my phone at the end after I finished. Not that I have any notifications, which is probably sad, but
I kept looking up Lily because I kept seeing like a little swishy tail
oh
in
yeah,
the corner of my eye.
She fully just like put her head in the middle of it as well, and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. But she got chucked out because she likes to climb on the back of this chair and like scrabble it. I was like,
I've
please
seen on your
don't.
story.
Yeah, so I had to chuck her out. Someone said that they're reading 3 Bullets by Melvin Burgess. I've never heard of that, but I hope you're enjoying it. Also, Rachel's hosting more reading sprints tonight if anyone wants to join in with those.
Don't think I can handle another book. I need to like process what just happened.
I tend to like just finish and go like, okay, next book, and straight on to the next
See,
one.
sometimes I can, because this is like book 2 of a long series. It like ended on like an incredible cliffhanger. So it's that and like thriller books when it like all comes together at the end. I have to just sit for like a minute and be like, okay. So that just happened. Usually there's like weird noises. I like. I mean, you can tell I'm in like a really weird state now. Yeah.
You won't be able to sleep now. Your mind will be racing.
It's fine. I'm watching Modern Family.
There's a cat.
Oh, cat.
she does.
Yeah, thanks to Lily. I'm watching Modern Family, and I watch a comedy usually if I can't sleep because somehow it like calms me down.
I watch Friends most nights just before I go to bed so I can watch something funny, especially if I've been watching something like really dark, like me and Andy have been watching How to Get Away with Murder, and it's really intense. So I have to watch an episode of Friends before I go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I say recently, it was like last year, I binged the BBC Sherlock, and I couldn't watch it at night time because it got me like so intense, like yeah. But I'm currently watching Bridgerton. I finally caved.
See, I don't like period stuff, but somebody said it was like Gossip Girl, and that made me a bit more interested.
Well, I mean, I haven't watched the last series of Gossip Girl, which is frustrating. I mean, I know how it ends, but it's like it's got the vibes of Gossip Girl with like the whole Lady Whistledown thing. I can't quite describe it. I've only watched 4 episodes, so again, I'm not like the expert. Oh, it's just so good. I love it so much. I listen to the soundtrack now because it's like covers of like, oh, my favorite is the cover of Bad Guy, and I thought I hate it, but also the moment it comes in the show is just incredible. So I want to like channel that energy whenever I listen to it.
Darian, I want to know more about your cat.
Yeah.
Let's listen to a cat stream.
Every time I try to bring her on camera is like when she's least affectionate. It's like she does not want to. She's just like, get away from me. but her name's Tiger.
Oh.
She's, I think, 13 now. I always forget, but she's old.
That's so cute.
Yeah, usually she's cute. Sometimes she's not. Sometimes she just screams at me.
Mine's just a goblin, so I'm jealous. She's such a chaotic baby. Like, she's only like 7 months old still, so she's still like vaguely a kitten, but she's so chaotic. Like, she's figured out how to open my wardrobes, but they're not my wardrobes, they're the landlord's, so she can't open them because they get damaged. But she can, and she'll open them and she'll empty them like a toddler.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's just, she's so chaotic. My manager, whenever we have like social calls, she'd be like, "Bring the cat." I'm like, "That's not how cat works.
Yeah.
that's not happening."
Oh my god.
So I relate. Like, I'll hold her up and she'll be like, "What are you doing?"
I love it when you're like filming and you're just like, "Oh, sorry, Maggie's just being annoying."
Hold on.
She'll just randomly decide to have zoomies in the middle of me filming, and you don't know how long the zoomies are gonna last. So you can't pause for the zoomies because they could be like a good 20 minutes of zoomies. So,
oh my god,
you have to go with it.
So cute.
If you like cats interrupting, you need to go and watch Spoopy Hole.
Yes.
Because like, every single one of her videos, the cat interrupts, and I'm like, this is what my filming sessions are like, but I just edit the cat.
No, you have to leave the cat.
I think it was her January wrap up. And at the beginning, she was like, "I feel like someone's behind me." She like turned around and the cat was just there. She was like, "Oh my god." It was just so funny.
Oh my god.
So this is why I want a pet, because I feel like I know they can be chaotic. We used to have a dog, and when we take him on walks, he would like basically like go crazy for like a certain amount of time, and you'd be standing there like, "Okay, fine." Like, I just want like a pet. I also just want to give it a cuddle.
Yeah, I wish my cat would cooperate with cuddles like ever. She'll like in the mornings she wakes me up at between 6 and 6:30 demanding cuddles, which is not okay. So then she gets sent out and I go and open the blinds in the kitchen and then she'll watch birds out the window while I go back to sleep. Then when I actually get up, she comes and like storms in and is like, "Right, cuddle time." And I have to give her cuddles for like 10-15 minutes and then she'll start fighting me. Once she starts fighting me, I then like actually get up for my day. But that's like the only time she's affectionate.
That's kind of sweet though. My aunt and uncle have a cat, and he woke my brother up by sitting on his face. When we went to stay. Also, I was in my cousin's room, which apparently he really likes. And this was Halloween, by the way. He was in the wardrobe and at like midnight decides to jump out of the wardrobe. I had no idea he was in. I was just like, "What the hell?"
Oh my god.
Maggie likes me, like she loves me, but she doesn't really like my boyfriend. But she's not like, she doesn't like dislike him in the sense that she attacks him, but she just like ignores him and disrespects him. So like, the other day to wake me up, she stood on his face so that she could gently call me to wake me up.
Oh my god, that is the best.
Oh my god.
So yeah, she's a character.
Oh, yes. It's great though.
Oh yeah, Tom would like you to know that Maggie also has a habit of jumping on him from high places. I don't think that's personal. I think she doesn't have good aim because she likes to jump onto the bed.
Aww.
I can't wait till I like get somewhere that I can have pets.
It's the best. Although it's scary because I'm now like the responsible adult. So when things go wrong, I can't be like, "Mom, Dad, call the vets." I'm like, "Me call the vets." I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, no, me and one of my like closest friends are thinking. I mean, hopefully at some point we'll like live together and we'll get a cat. We can't get a dog because we'll have to be working full time to afford somewhere. But like, yeah. But she has a cat at her house who is incredible, called Sydney. She's just the best. She's a good cat. She'll come and sit on you, but then you're like, "But now I can't move."
Yeah.
I want Elisa's dog because she's such a mood.
I was trying to look for her, but I think she went and hid in a corner somewhere.
You can go on those long walks. I love a good walk. It's really satisfying.
Yeah, I love going on walks with my dog, but right now it's so cold out. And she's like really furry. So for some reason she collects snowballs on her fur. Like she'll come inside and there's like little balls of snow on her.
Oh, that's funny.
We used to have to like towel our dogs down because otherwise, if you didn't get rid of the snow, it would just like melt into the carpet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has these little balloons that she wears on her feet, like boots. I mean, they're supposed to be dog boots, but they just look like little balloons.
That's so cute. How cold does it get where you live?
I don't know what it is in Celsius, but right now it's like almost 0 degrees. I think it's like 7 degrees Fahrenheit, but I don't know the conversion. So I don't know if that means anything.
Fahrenheit. That's -13. My God.
Yeah, that's like, it can get way colder than that sometimes.
I feel bad complaining about having -2 now. Like,
No, yeah,
I
it gets freezing.
to the library, which was unsuccessful because you had to book a slot to pick up your book that you requested, which I didn't realize. But it was really pretty because I got to like see all the snow everywhere. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
I live in Quebec, so it gets very cold here. Like sometimes it gets down to like -30 or -40, which
Oh my God.
Is that Fahrenheit or Celsius?
that's Celsius.
Oh no.
I just stay inside. Like today was like -20, I think, but I still went for a while. I'm used to it.
As like a teenager, I was always like, oh yeah, I much prefer the winter. I love cozy jumpers. And like now I'm an adult, I'm like, no, bring the summer. I don't like being cold.
I like the aesthetic of the colder months, but realistically, like summer is nicer.
I just
Driving when it's cold is awful. Sorry, I'm yawning really badly.
That's okay.
No, it's fine.
So, what are people doing tomorrow, considering we can't really do much?
Well, I'm going to try and read another book.
Read another book start to finish.
Yeah, we're getting a takeaway from a local Italian because we can't go anywhere, can we? So that's our treat to each other: a 3-course meal and a bottle of wine.
Oh, that's
3 courses sounds nice.
Yeah. Sophie's just gonna have a McDonald's. I think that's her favourite. That's her chicken nuggets.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, this is like the first Valentine's Day that I've had a boyfriend and we've been in the same region as each other. Because like last year we missed our anniversary and Valentine's Day because there was floods in like our 2 places because we went to uni in 2 different cities and it flooded like between us, so we couldn't get between each other. So now it's like our first Valentine's Day properly together, and we were like, what do we do? What is Valentine's Day?
Oh,
I think we're just gonna play video games. That's all we ever do.
Good.
that sounds fun.
So I can hear him shouting at Maggie because she's being naughty. I don't know if you can hear it, but he's constantly going like, Maggie, no. She is chaos. I need to get a little like GoPro and put it on her just so people can see what I mean when I say she's chaos.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Yeah, just
Or
do
just, like,
YouTube. That, yeah.
Just leave it live and just leave it on Maggie. Wow. Thank you guys so much for sprinting with me. This has been really fun. I hope you've been enjoying the readathon as well, because I've had loads of fun making it.
On the first year, I loved it so much, and like you were saying before, when like certain people follow you, that you get excited. That first one, when you were commenting on my stuff, I was proper fangirling because I just loved it so much. No doubt that I was taking part in it this time because it's brilliant. Love it.
Oh, that's so nice. Honestly, just seeing anyone taking part in the first one, I was like, people care. So when I was like, I wanted to do this one, I was like, oh, I'm going to need team captains, but I don't know if anyone's going to want to do it. So I was like really nervous, and I asked a few people, and they were like, oh, just go for it. Like, worst thing that happens is you just have to have less teams. And then I got all of you guys. That was really nice.
Yeah, I think I saw Pixarathon a bit too late to join in because I don't know, I think I like found you just at the end of it. So I was like, oh, I would have joined in otherwise, but obviously I'm here now. So
I'm definitely going to do Pixarathon again because that was fun and it's more low key. So I think that's a good. I like having one like this where it's like super organized, and then like the low key one as well. But people keep asking me, being like, "Oh, next year you should do like A Bug's Life," and I'm like, "But I love Toy Story, and I just want to do Toy Story one again." So I don't know if it's going to be like Toy Story again next year, or if I'll do a different movie, but we'll see. But I like doing two. It's fun. So thanks for joining me on this one because it's been really fun. Also, Emma's just joined and we're like wrapping up. I'm sorry, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Well, we'll just have to host another one.
Yeah.
Pardon?
So we'll just have to host another reading sprints.
Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe doing a like weekend read-in on the last weekend of February to like get through the end of the TBR. So definitely want to do some more sprints then. And if people want to do them like next weekend, we can organize more. So yeah, we'll see what everyone's availability is like.
Super fun. Also, I read a lot more than I was expecting to do.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was like, maybe I'll get
literally just over here reading entire books.
I genuinely don't normally read this fast. I think it's just because it was getting like super intense. Also, the chapters are literally like 3 pages, so.
Oh my god, Emma spent her whole day redoing her bookshelves.
Oh.
Well done.
That's impressive.
I was meant to be unholding some books from my TBR today, but I didn't want to. They're all in like stacks in my wardrobe, and they're like 20 book stacks. So I just looked at it and I was like, I'm supposed to do this today, but no.
Yeah, I unhauled a couple of books when I was at home because obviously, like, I have a book cart and piles of books. This is really concerning. And then at home I have 2 bookshelves. So I got rid of half of one of my bookshelves is all my like academic books that I've collected because of like history coursework, and I have like 3 copies of the Iliad or something now. It's so bad.
Sorry.
It's because we had to buy a specific translation for the course I'm doing, and I was like, but can't I just use the one I already have and have already annotated? No.
Oh.
So, I have it here somewhere. It's fine. I had to like chuck it in my suitcase. Like, it's not that thick to be fair, but
That's pretty thick.
Yeah.
I had to stick it back in.
Oh my god.
Emma said that she votes for there to always be Toy Story readathons, and she wants there to be a Team Alien. And honestly, like people were asking me, "Oh, is it gonna be like Team Woody, Team Buzz?" And I was like, "That would have made it simpler." But no, I didn't even cover all the characters I wanted to. I had like Mrs. Potato Head isn't in there. There's like a few others that I didn't put in because I couldn't decide like which teams.
You'll just have to put them in next time.
But then like Team Andy just gets bigger and bigger. So I didn't put all of them in because Team Andy was getting a bit ridiculous.
I think also like Team Bonnie, we have a lot of possible steals, which is why I haven't done any steals, because I'm like, maybe I will if I decide to, but like I can't book for all of them.
Emma, quote, I am the little green man queen.
Well, if you get a Team Alien, I think you have a team captain.
Yeah.
Just like an honorable team, just for Emma.
Oh my god. I saw Emma said TS before, and my brain immediately thought Taylor Swift.
Oh
Yeah.
my listening to the new love story like on repeat. I learned how to play Love Story on my ukulele. That's how obsessed I've become with it.
So good. I hear
Taylor Swift.
Me though, if anyone brings up Taylor Swift, I'm like, hi, yes. Hello.
Honestly, when she announced Evermore, like while your readathon was still happening, I was like, what a time! Like, what great timing you guys had.
I couldn't believe it. It was wild.
She saw the work you were doing and was like, you deserve the album.
She did it just for us. It was great.
I'm glad it wasn't just me that read Taylor Swift though, because every time I see TS, I'm like, Taylor Swift, yes.
Same.
The one thing is, I need to do like for Pixarathon, there's been more movies released, so I need to come up with new prompts for like the new movies. And the other day, my boyfriend was like, "But what if they just keep releasing? Like, how many prompts are you going to end? Like 100 Pixar movies with 100 prompts?" I was like,
I mean, at least there's options. Then you can pick some like.
Yeah, I like Pixarathon, the regular one, because you can mood read a lot more with that one. I'm a big mood reader.
Same.
Hence why I've already gone off TBR.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah, I think I've started with my TBR so far, but I mean, who knows? I might have to DNF another book and then choose something else. But I don't know.
I've accidentally got a two Scribd subscriptions at the moment because I had 2 different email accounts on Scribd, and
Nice.
apparently rather than cancelling the first one, I just paused it. So now I'm like, great, I get double audiobooks. So now I'm like keep changing my TBR yet again because I can read more on
I'm on
Scribd.
the like free trial for Scribd, and it's really good. That's how I've got like, because I'm trying to not buy more books. I mean, so far I haven't bought as many books. Yeah, I'm trying to use like my library, and I've got Scribd, and like the audiobook for Cemetery Boys is really good. If anyone wants to read it, I recommend it.
I've got the hardback and I want to listen to the audiobook with it because it sounds like it's going to be really good.
It is. It's just such a good book. I also read. I just listened to the Kenneth Branagh audiobook of Murder on the Orient Express because that was another like. It was so good.
Elise, you said you've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. What's like something you'd recommend?
I don't even remember what I've been listening to. Hold on, let me pull up Go. See, what I've been doing is, if you've seen all of my tweets, I've gotten into knitting recently. So I've just been listening to audiobooks while knitting. Hold on. I know I've listened to some good ones.
I have a knitting that's like almost finished, but I just want.
I see cat.
Oh, she's gonna go.
Oh, she just.
That's what you'll get now.
Aww.
I was listening to Harrow the Ninth the other day, and I was really struggling to read it because Harrow is in second person, so it's a lot easier to listen to it. So I've been knitting a lot lately, so I can listen to Harrow.
Okay, I just checked Goodreads. I forgot. I recently listened to Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. Anyone needs a Valentine's Day book? So cute. It's about a girl, and she's a writer. I think she's in high school, and she gets into this writing program at some fancy art school, and she's going to write a novel, and then she can't think of anything to write. So then her friend tells her she should go find her own real-life romance for inspiration. So cute.
What's it called? I might
called-
have to check that out now.
It's called Happily Ever Afters. Afters,
Okay.
plural.
I'm
By
adding
Elise Bryant. Such a cute cover, too. So good.
Afters. Oh yes, I do know this book.
It's so cute.
Yeah. I know this book. Yeah, I really want to read that.
Oh, I found it. I'm gonna add it on my Goodreads now.
I've been loving romance so much more lately. Like, especially I read Red, White, and Royal Blue at the beginning of the readathon, and it's so good. And I just love romance at the moment. I've got another adult romance on my TBR. I'm going to be reading Eve Brown.
I really want to read those books so badly.
I just read Chloe Brown. It was so good.
Yeah, I wanted to read them before I got to Eve Brown because I have an arc for Eve Brown, but my boyfriend's buying me the whole book set, a signed book set, but it hasn't been shipped yet. But the third book comes out in March, so I think I'm gonna have to read Eve Brown before I read the other 2.
Oh no! I mean, it doesn't.
Because they're like romances, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book that got me into romances was The Switch by Beth O'Leary. Oh, that book was so good. I listened to that on audiobook actually, and it was just like, it was incredible.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
I've got her other book, The Flat Share, just chilling in my car. And it's like, to be fair, all those books just like stare at me all day long. I'm like, I will get to you eventually.
Oh. I hear little meows.
Yeah, that's Treacle.
Oh.
She keeps trying to get up, but then when I try and pick her up, she's like, no.
Yeah. How dare you?
Emma said that she didn't realize that the brown sisters was smutty, and I also didn't know this until like I told one of my friends that I got the arc, and they were like, "Oh, it's like so sexy," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, didn't know that."
Yeah, I was reading it and I was like, oh my god.
I give it 2 stars, but I think it's because I listened to it as an audiobook, and it was really weird to listen to it as an audiobook. And the audiobook narrator, I don't know if it's because I was listening to it at a faster speed, but she sounded like she was 90 years old, and it like made the book really awkward.
In fact, audiobook narrators can like really affect how it is. I mean, I've been lucky that I've only got good ones so far.
Yeah.
But
I
I
had
got the
that
audiobooks for Lord of the Rings, and I'm worried.
Has anyone listened to the audiobook for On the Come Up by Angie Thomas?
No.
The narrator for that is the same narrator from The Help. So she's literally like a grown adult woman narrating On the Come Up, which is like a first-person teenage book.
Ugh.
And it just
Angie Thomas is she's the one that wrote
it
I
just
Hate You
didn't
Give,
sound
isn't
like
she?
a teenager at all, and it was very like, no, not into
I read
this.
I Hate You Give. Oh my god, it's incredible. I had to borrow the book from my brother. As in my 16-year-old brother, not or 17. I don't know how old anyone is anymore.
Oh my god.
He also has Six of Crows, and I was like, "Oh, can I borrow this from you?" He was like, "Why are you reading books for 12-year-olds?" I was like, "Don't come for me with my reading choices."
Six of Crows is amazing. I love Six of Crows.
I'm gonna reach out to him, but I'm not gonna get to it before the TV show, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try, but
If you were gonna read one though, I would recommend Six of Crows over Shadow and Bone. And I read Six of Crows before I read the Shadow and Bone series, and it didn't really impact it for me. And my boyfriend has read he's read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom both through audiobook, and he said like it's fine. But yeah, those are so good, and I can't wait for the TV series.
I mean, Ben Barnes, I'm just saying it out. Incredible. I mean, I love him because of Prince Caspian. The Narnia movies, so good.
Oh, Rachel's back.
I forgot
Rachel.
about that, Rachel, but we got to do that.
This is your passive aggressive message to read it.
Thank you for reminding me. We shall do that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's nearly 11 p.m. here, so I think it might be time for us to go because I'm going to be going to bed soon.
I'm gonna have lunch, but yeah.
Lunch.
I'd like to say I'll be going to bed soon, but I
You're a
can't.
student. Who cares? Like, do what you want.
I watched
Nice.
Football last night instead of sleeping earlier, and not a bad decision. I love that movie. It's so good.
What did you watch?
This Means War. It's like a really weird spy rom-com. It's just incredible.
I think I saw that like when it came out, like
Yeah,
years ago.
It's
I
like
don't
Reese
even know.
Witherspoon and like two spies, Chris Pine and Tom Hardy. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's incredible, in my opinion.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this sprints with me. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
I don't want to go now. Pets appear, and I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you guys, and thank you to everyone that came and joined with us.
Yeah. Yay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.